BBC World Service as assignment. Every year, truckloads of used clothes are dumped in Chile's Atacama Desert from fast fashion labels across the world. Sometimes they're burnt, causing toxic fumes which harm the local community. I'm Jane Chambers, and I'll be hearing how different groups are trying to fix Chile's fashion graveyard. This is the BBC World Service, Coverage radio station.
Welcome to Outside Source with me, Rahul Tandon, live from the floor of the BBC Newsroom here in central London, where you will hear from the buzz of conversation around me. It is extremely busy, and most of the journalists who can see sat on different desks in this big room. And their stories related to the US-Israel war with Iran. We have seen plumes of smoke again rising above the Iranian capital, Tehran, accompanied by the constant sound of explosions. An Iranian journalist who spoke to the BBC World Service from the city a short while ago said many people are fleeing it. There is a lot going on across the Middle East, and we are going to try and make sense of it for you. We've already heard from the US Defense Secretary, Pete Hegseth, who said that this is aimed at destroying Iran's missiles, its navy and nuclear ambitions. From Iran, they have said that they will fiercely defend themselves and make their enemies sorry for what they call a miscalculation.
BBC News with Linda Hardy. The US Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has said the US is carrying out a devastating mission in Iran aimed at destroying its missiles, its navy and its nuclear ambitions. In a briefing at the Pentagon, Mr. Hegseth said Washington had realistic ambitions and the operation will not lead to an endless war, but refused to give a time frame. He also confirmed that 4 US troops had been killed so far. He further warned Iran against American casualties.
If you threaten Americans anywhere on Earth, we will hunt you down without apology and without hesitation, and we will kill you. President Trump has also been very consistent. Crazy regimes like Iran, hell-bent on prophetic Islamist religions, cannot have nuclear weapons. It's common sense.
US and Israeli strikes are continuing to hit Iran for a third day. Loud explosions have been heard in the central city of Isfahan, where there is a nuclear facility and an airbase. There have also been explosions in the capital, Tehran. Local news sources say several more commanders have been killed. The Iranian Red Crescent is reporting that more than 550 people have been killed in the attacks so far, and 131 cities have been hit. 6 Gulf states alongside the US have described Iran's targeting of non-combatant countries in the region as a dangerous escalation. The statement says they reaffirmed their right to self-defense. Iranian attacks have been continuing across several Gulf states. In Kuwait, 3 US warplanes crashed after they were mistakenly shot down by Kuwaiti forces. All 6 crew on board ejected safely and have been recovered. Global oil and gas prices have risen sharply, with producers, insurers and shipping firms affected by war and the closure of the Strait of Hormuz. The cost of European gas has soared by over 50% after the world's largest producer of liquefied natural gas, Qatar Energy, said it was halting production. Barbara Plett-Usher is in Doha.
Qatar's state-run energy firm said it had halted production after Iranian drone attacks at 2 of its main gas processing bases. Doha is one of the world's top liquefied natural gas producers, and the impact was felt immediately. Prices in Europe and Asia soared by more than 30%. Saudi Arabia also stopped some operations after an attack on its largest oil refinery. Riyadh said its air defenses destroyed 2 drones near the refinery, and the falling debris had caused a limited fire, which was dealt with immediately. It said supply to local markets was not affected. Iran has said it's pounding U.S. military bases in the region, but it has also hit civilian infrastructure such as airports. This is the first time it has targeted energy facilities.
Barbara Plett-Usher reporting. This is the latest world news from the BBC. A limited number of Iranians are seeking refuge in Turkey. They're arriving at a land border in the east. Emily Wither reports.
Surrounded by snow-capped mountains, small numbers of Iranians are arriving in vans. Iran shares 3 land crossings with Turkey, and for now, they remain open. One mother told us she sat in heavy traffic to get out of Tehran. Her only plan was to bring her 3-year-old daughter to safety. What happens next, she doesn't know. Another man hugged goodbye to his family in tears, happy they were safe but determined to return and stand by his country. What would you do if your country was being bombed for no reason, he said. I must go back. For months now, Ansar has been preparing contingency plans for an influx of refugees. There's no sign of that yet, but the reality is no one knows what comes next.
A small number of flights have taken off from Abu Dhabi's international airport after being suspended because of the conflict in the region. Etihad Airways planes have left for destinations including London and Paris, as well as Moscow, Cairo and Delhi. Israeli strikes have again hit parts of the Lebanese capital, with plumes of smoke rising above Beirut's southern suburbs. The IDF has threatened to strike targets linked to the Iranian proxy Hezbollah across the country. In other news, officials in the Democratic Republic of Congo say the army has recaptured more territory in South Kivu province after days of fighting with the M23 armed group. The army also says it shot down 4 drones. Zimbabwe has begun releasing nearly 4,000 inmates granted presidential amnesty in February as part of efforts to ease congestion in the country's prisons. The Justice Minister says 223 women are among those set to benefit. And that's the latest BBC News.